G'day, and welcome to another Wimbledon channel lesson idea. Today's lesson is for Stage 5 Geography, Changing Australian Communities. We did this lesson last week and it was on Pokemon Go. The main point of this lesson was to think through the process of investigating social and cultural change. One of the things I liked most about this lesson was how adaptable it is. You can use every gadget under the sun, or literally just workbooks and pens. I began the lesson by giving the students a question to think about. I asked them, how has Pokemon Go changed our community? Students were given some time to have a think about it and then write down what they thought in their books. They then turned to the person next to them and shared what they'd written down. This in education circles is called Think, Pair, Share. Then in these pairs, I asked them to brainstorm any other changes they could think of and write them all down in their books. These pairs then paired with other pairs. Then in these new groups of Connect 4, they shared and compared as pairs. I then asked the Connect 4 groups to categorise all of the changes they'd come up with. They were given some time because they not only had to brainstorm what categories they could put all of the changes into, they had to negotiate and agree on the categories as a group. Then the groups were asked to put their categories on the board, and we had a class discussion as to which categories were helpful and whether anything they'd chosen might have fitted better into another category. So far in the lesson, students have observed changes in their culture, they've hypothesised that these changes may have been caused by Pokemon Go, they've collaborated in pairs and then groups, they've had to categorise this information and negotiate as to which categories are used. I then introduced the students to the idea of causation, explaining to them that just because they saw that change doesn't mean Pokemon Go caused it. They then went back to their Connect 4 groups and looked at each change, asking the question, could anything else have caused that change? Then each student was asked to pick an individual change just for them. I gave them a scenario. BuzzFeed has asked you to investigate this change. What geographical tools, surveys, interviews, etc., could you use to work out if the change is directly caused by Pokemon Go? And if so, how could you measure that change? Here's where the lesson can go in a couple of different directions based on what you'd like to get out of it. Students could simply write out a proposal for what tools they'd use and how the tools would work and hand it in to you. Or they could work back in their pairs and come up with a proposal that would work for both of the things that they chose. Or if you have time, students could even design a component of their investigation and then carry it out to see if their hypotheses were correct. So that's a lesson idea for changing Australian communities using the Pokemon Go revolution. It helps students to think through how to plan geographical investigations. This has been another lesson idea from Wimbledon channel. Any questions? Comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.